afternoon and welcome to Industry Focus on BDTV, where we pinpoint industries, both locally and globally, hence identifying economic and business value and how it affects the GDP in Nigeria, lives of Nigerians, and of course, Nigerians across the globe. So here are our segments for today. When we start, we will give you business quote of the day, and then we jump right into our captain's opinion, where our guest, Oto-obong Aniefiok, is here with us to tell us exactly the pros and cons of culture and tourism industry in Nigeria. Very important. You don't want to miss that. And right after that, we also do have the deal or no deal, where we find out how Nigeria as a country plans on pushing its strategy to alleviate the creative industry and economy of the tourism sector. Then after that, we do have retrospect, where we will talk about the past tourism sector that affected the conference in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. All these coming your way. I'm Onyeka Valentine. Don't touch it. When we come back, you will find out why this show caters for everything that you need industry-wise. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. Let's jump right up into it. The quote of the day on tourism. They say, if you will have to visit 2 continents in your life, well, visit Africa twice. If you only visit 2 continents in your life, visit Africa twice. A lot of reason why that carries a lot of weight, but not my words, but words of R. Elliott. Go check him out and see all the great quotes he has on tourism sector and, of course, culture and more. And because today's show is focused on that, we have taken our quote of the day, write it down, and I'll tell you how that transmits into business and how you can grow the GDP. Words they say carry a lot. The meaning you make from them matters a lot. All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I will give you a breakdown of how my guest today is the right person to make this show and this segment and topic a blast. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes. So our guest today is not only a prolific speaker, he's someone who knows exactly how to do good justice to topics that border on culture and tourism. So let's jump into it. Today we're discussing the industry of culture and tourism in Nigeria, its pros and cons. And our guest, Mr. Oto-obong Aniefiok Uwah, is a lover of humanity and a firm believer in the continuous level when it comes to nature, how to grow it, and of course the human spirit to overcome every challenge that confronts mankind in every epoch. He is a lover of history, a human, social, dynamic person who, in many ways, brings forward major interest in governance and the government itself. He also is a public speaker, and in that particular area of public speaking, he gives you that which you need. He's a lover of poetry, as well a big supporter of simple tech-enabled initiatives that bring solutions to the immediate environment and the world at large. His interest in culture and tourism doesn't end there. He's also an anthropologist. He has led so many literary works, contributed in a lot of world-giving speaking environment when it comes to culture and tourism, and is an award-winning book author titled Ibibio Nation, Culture and History. Help me welcome my guest right here in the studio, Mr. Oto-obong.
Thank you, Onyeka.
You're welcome. I hope I was able to give you a robust breakdown of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, you did. I think you did well.
All right. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yes, some will say that culture and tourism is important. Yes, a lot will agree. But before we jump into our 5 key questions, we want to know, why would you underline culture and tourism as a way out for Nigeria?
Okay, so I think I'll start with the quote.
Okay.
If you must visit a continent twice, visit Africa twice.
Okay.
I really tried to go around Africa, and Africa is beautiful. And if you go to Kenya, it's a different world. If you go to Masai Mara, you literally see Tarzan in action. I mean, you will see and live with animals, so to say. And I've not been to Madagascar. I heard it's Garden of Eden. So it's the potential of economies, tourism. I mean, I was in Ghana earlier in the year, and my second time on a tour drive. And of course, we spent a lot of money in a team of 10. And I mean, if you understand how much it will cost in flights and accommodation,
welfare.
Tourism is ready potential. It's the potential that does not diminish. It's a static potential. So if it's historical tour, you come there, you go to historical sites, you go to Jerusalem. The Jordan River is the Jordan River. But every year and every generation, they will go there and they will spend money. Okay, if you go to Rome, you go to St. Peter's tomb. It's the same tomb. And people go there, you go with your children go with their children. So it's really a money spinner, and it has a lot of potential there.
All right, so it has a lot of potential. So let's come home now to now say this. Which most of our listeners and our contributors online, they send their questions just to find out, since we're talking about tourism. Prosperity versus potential. Why isn't an industry like culture and tourism with immense economic power also a major contributor to our GDP? Because, I mean, we know that you are a professional when it comes to these areas. And we're thinking, if someone like you is the president of this country, would you answer this question with action? But first of all, let's answer the question first.
So answer if I were president would be yes. Okay. So basically, I'm also a numbers person. I'm an accountant by training. So I know numbers. So unfortunately, I think we'll not be able to tap very well from the resource of the Nigerian tourism sector. We just recently rebased our GDP. So we have a GDP of, I think, $243 billion US dollars, using 2019 as the base year. But unfortunately, in the old GDP structure and the current GDP structure, tourism contributes 4%. It was 3.6% in the old GDP structure and 3.9% in the current GDP. I think around Africa, in Kenya, and I think South Africa is like 8%. I mean, so in Rwanda, it's 10%. And Rwanda is making a lot of money in tourism. Last year, Rwanda had 1.5 million visitors.
1.5 billion visitors?
Yeah. And they made over $450 million in 2023. And over $650 million in 2024. So you can see a remarkable leap in their GDP. It's a gold mine for Nigeria, and I've really toured Nigeria. I've gone around Nigeria. I've gone to those places. I've gone to Yankari. It's unbelievable what we have there.
Yankari Game Reserve.
Yeah.
Is this still functioning very well?
The last time I went there was just the week before the Boko Haram incident. So I passed through that road on a Monday, on Tuesday. The Boko Haram issues occurred. But I went there. I saw elephants. Yes, I did see elephants, baboons. I went to Wiki, Warm Springs.
How did you see the Warm Spring and then all those, the waterfall?
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. There are a lot of
what we can see on TV, the waterfalls.
Yeah, there are a lot of baboons at the Wiki Warm Spring. And I mean, talking about waterfalls, we really have a lot of waterfalls.
Do we have them in Akwa Ibom? I know you have from Akwa Ibom.
Yes, we do, but not really much. But in Cross River, one of the best images you will see, unfortunately, it's not really publicized, is the Agbokim waterfall.
Agboki waterfall.
Agbokim.
Agbokim.
Yeah, it's really a Victoria Falls. in north of Cross River. It's really part of the circumscribing issues around our tourism and GDP, because access to tour sites is really a problem. I mean, when you go around the world, going to Ghana, I mean, the journeys were smooth. Yeah, the roads are not perfect as in all of Africa, but every major tour site had an access road to it.
Right.
When I went to Yankari, there was road network, very good road network. I would think it was well built, so it should still be in existence. So, I mean, clearly without the support infrastructure, we will not be able to contribute to the growth of our GDP. And again, in the 4% I talked about as a component of our GDP for tourism, culture is still very little, because of the 4%, over 60% of it is of the hospitality services sector.
But again, as much as it is quite little, we see a lot of artistic work with our traditional people showcasing some culture and tourism and all that stuff. You see that people who are supposed to make money, they are just sitting back on their hands. Because I mean, we have like Miss Tourism, we have a lot of activities. Because it bothers us, and when we think, is it that we are not seeing the potential, the business potential in all those activities?
So we see. I think we see. Unfortunately, Nigeria is just so blessed, but somehow we stutter with our potentials. Looking at the variables that should support our tourism drive. Like I said, we have inhibitors like insecurity, poor road network, poor infrastructure. We even do not have the manpower. Trust me, we do not have the manpower. I went to Yankari with so much potentials. There was no curator to take me around. There was no curator to market what was happening.
How sad.
If you go around Africa, so I'm not talking about the Western world. If you go around Africa, you go to Kenya, you go to Uganda, you go to, of course, Egypt is at the level of the Western world. You go to Rwanda, you will have proper tour guides. I mean, from the airport, there's a system that creates the tourism ambience, and I'm an advocate for tourism belts, organized tourism. And that's really the problem with us. Our tourism is not organized, that's why people are not making money. We have artists that, visual artists that are not...
visual artists, performing artists.
No, for the performing artists, we are really making a hit. We are really making a hit. Right. I've been peripherally involved with some of them, and I know the kind of monies that they were paid. And so for the music industry and for the creative arts industry, I think Nigeria is scoring a big A.
A big A? So
yeah.
I'll give you a round of applause.
Yeah, we're scoring a big A. But I mean, for historical tourism, anthropology, cultural tourism, I think we are not there considering our natural endowments. I mean, the Mambila Plateau, that exists, Taraba State, the waterfalls, there's the greenery. I mean, from Udi Hills in Enugu, if you're driving around, I mean, it's just beautiful. If you go to Obudu, it's one of the most beautiful. Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. You actually drive into the clouds. It's cool, and around those tour sites, there are potentials. I mean, Obudu has the potential for a dam, so they were supposed to use the waterfall in Obudu to create a little hydro power system to feed the ranch and also feed the neighborhoods. In Ghana, the Akosombo Lake, I mean, they have a dam, So around the tour sites, there's absolutely great potential for direct economic activity, which is not directly linked to the tour, but it's an offshoot of the tour site. So you create economic activity, the company and the government makes money, company makes money in profits, the government makes money in taxes,
right,
and social enhancement through job creation. So government knows that more people are employed, and of course the entrepreneur also boast about helping the government to employ people, while also providing a long-term solution to the issues of everyday life, like power, like road. So, like the road to Yankari Game Reserve, it was built largely for the reserve. Like I went to Ikogosi 3 months ago, and there's a new road that's been built to Ikogosi, but the communities around there will also benefit from the road. So, whereas you may want to solve the problem of the thought site, you will also be solving a big social problem of the environment.
This is key. You're giving us an in-depth breakdown on some secrets in tourism and how, you know, the country can actually make money out of these things. I wish the Minister of Culture and Tourism is actually watching this. I know one of our segments we drew a sighting, you know, considering where Nigeria is going to regarding upping its economy with culture and tourism. But before we jump into that, we have another question here. One of our listeners, you know, viewers sent us, said they wanted to know the collaboration versus the fragmentation. What is the economic cost of lacking a unified industry vision like the one of culture and tourism? If there is something lacking, what's going to be the economic cost? I know we're going to pay dearly for it, but how badly if we ignore this sector?
So very badly. Unfortunately, we still have shortage of data on that. But I think for me, considering global data available, it could be upwards of $100 million annually. I think so. So
$100 million.
Yeah, I mean it's not database,
Yes,
but this is my own conjecture. Okay, because, and I will speak to some examples, 2, 3 local and maybe others foreign. When Tinapa was envisioned, it was envisioned as a Dubai of some sorts in a locale. So you could shop there and you could have your fun there. There were hotels, the water parks, there was a film village, a cinema, so many things. At the same time, Ibom Hotel was being built, independent infrastructure development. But there was a mooting of an idea, a wonderful idea, and there was a coming together of the two states. And what was the idea? You could shop in Tinapa and play golf in Ibom, or you could play golf in Ibom and shop in Tinapa.
There's some form of partnership and cohesion.
And you were to use a ferry, and it actually did happen in the first 2-3 years that both facilities were functioning optimally, and that's collaboration. So it created a tourism belt. So it created aqua tourism, and you really have a very beautiful mangrove pathway from the marina in Ibom to the marina in Calabar. So that's collaboration. So that's like a joint tour access. So like I speak proudly about Akwa Ibom.
It's right on. I want to hear part of that.
It's the tour destination of Nigeria. So I invite everybody, all viewers, come to Akwa Ibom. You know, we're also creating something in Akwa Ibom. Private sector, public sector, trying to work together. It's not fashion, but there's a mooting of the idea. Peripheral part of it. I've made some presentations to that effect. Just to have a coastal belt for tourism in Akwa Ibom.
A coastal belt?
Yeah.
That sounds like a huge potential for
a lot. We have
tourism.
the longest natural coastal drought in Nigeria. I think in the west coast of Africa. We have the longest natural beach also in Nigeria. So in Ikotabas, you have that was at some point the capital of Nigeria. So you have natural, it was also a slave route. So you have these slave relics, and you have Lord Lugard's office in Ikotabasi, the typewriter, everything is still intact. So there's tourism around it, and I support an NGO that is already working on creating virtual tours of those artifacts in Ikotabasi. So you could stay around the world, hopefully within the next 2 years, you could stay around the world and take a virtual tour of those relics, the 1929, what is in history called Aba Women's Riot, but it's actually the Women's War of 1929. Lord Lugard's office building, also inclusive of the slave relics. So that's the Ikotabasi. You move again to Ibono, there's the beach. Eket, Ibono, there's the beach, and you move further to Oron area, and you have an aquatic tour opportunities. So that's And that's local. So internationally, you go to Las Vegas. This was a desert 50 years ago.
Right.
But Las Vegas has around 160,000 hotel rooms. The Las Vegas Strip alone has 100,000 rooms. It's just a little piece of the earth.
And making a lot of...
But all the boxing bouts, all the formula, everything that happens in Vegas happens on the Strip.
Happens on the Strip. On this particular Strip now, industry focus. We have one more question before we go. This now focuses on, although we don't have much time, but it focuses on the area of the art itself now.
Okay.
Right? We all know it's all tied to art and culture, right? And tourism. But we see the music industry, we see the fashion industry, we see the performance in the performers, those who wear, the like traditional clothes, like during when they have carnivals, right? We see them showcasing our traditional wear and everything. Is it that we are just spending money having those spectacles and we're not making money out of it? What do you think might be responsible for that?
No, but I think again we are making money, but it's just that we are not living up to our true potentials. Dirty Lagos is now global. It's now global. I can't place but I think I've seen something around 40 billion naira or so that came into Lagos last year, just in December.
That's increasing our GDP.
Yeah. So I've been to the Durbar in Kano. It's one of the best human spectacles, the Durbar in Kano. So, all the hotels are normally booked. And, if you go to Calabar for the carnival, you need to book a hotel room 3-4 months before the carnival. So we are making money.
Right.
But we are not making enough. And the money is also not... Lagos is really an example of things where you go to a hotel, there's always an activity. So money filters to all hands. We need to be organized. We really need to be organized. And without organization, you can't market yourself. Okay, Donald Duke, as the governor of Cross River State, did really market Cross River.
At that time.
And on DSC, you're going to see Visit Calabar, Visit Cross River, a lot of things. In 2004, the Nigerian government then launched Nigeria Heart of Africa project. This was really big, and in 2 years, our revenue doubled from under $250 million. No, not doubled. It went 50% from under $250 million to like $360 or so million in total revenue. In Rwanda, after the 1994 genocide, everything looked very bleak, but they have turned what was bad to money, like I talked about.
I hate to cut you, but to money. We need to do a part 2 of this because you're well loaded with information.
Yeah, go on ready. Okay.
And when we come back, let's do our deal or no deal.
Okay.
Maybe we should touch that in one area, but let's take a quick break.
Okay.
All right. We have our guest in the building. I hate to cut him because he's an embodiment of knowledge when it comes to culture and tourism. I'm sure already you see what we're talking about and how that streamlines business and grows the GDP of our nation. Let's take a break. When we come back, deal or no deal, we hear the Nigerian government. They're all doing great stuff to make sure that culture and tourism begins to rake in more money. You want to find out? Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is still industry focus right here. And we are talking deal or no deal as our next segment. To make it very short, I got my guest in the building, Mr. Oto-obong. Yes, we're talking about something that has to do with Kenya and other areas. We'll do that in a different episode. But now we have deal or no deal. We hear that the federal government is working on something key to help move Nigeria's economic value based on culture and tourism to the next level. Right, and this has been championed by the minister, right, of culture and tourism and arts. Do you see this as a deal or no deal, and why?
So straight answer is the deal.
Okay.
I think the minister is doing very well. Minister, I commend your efforts. First of all, she's very visible. She's very visible, and she's walking her talk. She's really in the right places. She's marketing the country. We have our challenges, but I think she's one of the officers of government doing a great job at marketing the country. And I mean, around the creatives and reading through her profile and this strategic interest she has in promoting culture and tourism as a component of our economy, she's really strong on the creatives and also in capacity building of locals. So I think if she achieves 50% of that, we will have leaped. We have had a great leap in our tourism. And beautiful lady, madam. Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah,
well groomed and everything.
Yeah, and she speaks well. And with her poetry on the country, the beauty of the country, it's really, I mean, she really takes me back to the Heart of Africa project in 2004 and the potentials I saw as a country. I'm a firm believer in our country, and together, Nigeria will survive, Nigeria will strive, Nigeria will succeed. Yeah.
Nigeria will survive, Nigeria will strive. You've heard our guest, he just weighed in and said it's a deal for him that the Minister for Culture and Tourism, that is Musawa, is doing a great job. So it's a deal or no deal? Right?
It's a deal.
It's a deal. Okay. Deal it is. Deal it is.
Okay.
You've seen the handshake, which means that we're all rooting for her, hoping that she does a better job. All right. And keep on doing a great job. Not just better, but a great job that she's doing. All right. So if you're watching, madam, keep doing a great job. Our wonderful guest here has given his own pass back. Before we go, towards the end of last 2019, obviously they had a breakdown of how culture and tourism in that conference. And that conference held in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, about tourism. And then they found out that Africa adds a lot to tourism globally, but nobody documents it that much. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think...
and that was in 2019. You can see the picture there. World Tourism Conference 2019. And also in 16 was mentioned. What can they do to make Africa be more inclusive and, and bring in more money for Africa?
So there's this saying, what is not written does not exist. So we must write about ourselves. We must write. We'll make the writing accessible to a greater part of the world. We'll also make it accessible to different generations. So you have the Gen Z, the Alpha generation, and co. So, I mean, are you going to make it in animation form, whatever, but you just need to project yourself.
Before we go quickly, in case you guys don't know, Ibibio Nation, you did this book some time ago.
Yes, I did.
Yes, we just have about 1 minute. Tell us about this book, and if we're looking at the part 2 of this book, Ibibio Nation.
There won't be a part 2, but there will be other books.
Culture and tourism.
No, there will be other books, but right. I mean, this book is wholesome in itself.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be an updated edition just to add maybe contemporary sociology, sociological practices. But the book speaks to our history as the Ibibio people, our migration from the southern valleys of Cameroon, and to a place in Arochukwu called Ibom, and to Ikono in Akwa Ibom before we dispersed to other parts of the state as we are. So they also speaks about our relationship with the Efiks, who some authors believe are Ibibios and they believe they are not Ibibios. And of course, our relationship with our Igbo neighbors. So beyond Arochukwu, we have a relationship with our Igbo's neighbors and also with larger part of Cross River State. Then it speaks a lot about our practices, so our sociology, marriage, inheritance, kinship, and things like that. But I think it's a book I recommend for people to read, not just Akwa Ibomites. And what's beautiful, we also try to capture names of plants and especially
cultural sites.
So
a whole lot history.
So we have
culture.
The English name, we have the Ibibio name, we have the botanical name.
Okay.
So just to make sure that even a non-Ibibio reader will really understand that this plant is really referring to this botanical name. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Onyeka. It's a pleasure.
Hopefully we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. Longer time. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go, are you on social media?
Yes, I am.
What's social media handle?
It's Oto-obong Uwah, all handles. Yeah.
All handles. Oto-obong Uwah.
Twitter, Instagram.
Right. All social media handles.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much again. We cannot thank you enough. You've done so
It's a
much
pleasure.
justice to our topic and in
a
line with your
pleasure.
book, Culture and Tourism. You guys go check it out, most definitely. Yes, it has been a robust one. Time for us to leave the studio. So those who with our time, Industry Focus comes to you every Tuesday, 12:30. And you can catch us right here on BDT. My name is Onyeka Valentine. Until next week, Tuesday, stay strong. Bye-bye for now.